Hey there. This year has been pretty interesting here in the US. And now that we're entering holiday season, it's going to be even more interesting given some of the things that are going on. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but I want to share with you three intense emotions that you're most likely to see this holiday season, and you might even experience them yourself. And I'm going to get to it in just one moment. Hi there. Welcome to Stress Talk Live. This is the place where we help women over 40 live healthier lives through strategic stress management and solution focused self care, as well as grateful living. I am Marcelin Bailey. I am your host, and I'm so glad that you joined me today. I wanted to get into what we may be facing this holiday season in terms of emotions. And this is going to be a heavy topic. So I just want to give you a heads up because it is a heavy topic, but I wanted to try to help you prepare as we get into the holiday season. Halloween was Friday. For those of you who celebrate Halloween, I'm not one of those people. Didn't pass out any candy. I haven't passed out any candy for a long time now. We don't get a lot of kids in our neighborhood um, doing trick or treat anymore. But for those of you who celebrate it, you know that Halloween is really the transition into the holiday season here in the United States. So there's going to be a lot of things that I want to share with you this holiday season around how we can get through the holidays without totally losing it. Before we get started, I want to remind you to like, follow, and subscribe to ML Bailey Consultants on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I want to highlight for you that I'm asking you specifically to subscribe to ML Bailey Consultants on YouTube. There is a QR code that's on the screen. I'm going to leave it up there. There's also the link. I'm not going to leave that up, but you can get to it using the QR code. The reason I'm asking this is because, number one, I'm going to be sharing lots of information on YouTube. I'm developing my YouTube channel and I'm going to be sharing lots of information that I can't share on Instagram or Facebook due to time constraints and limitations. So I want to be able to share this with you, and I can do so on YouTube. So please subscribe so you can make sure that you get all of this good stuff that I'm going to be giving you. Also, when you go to my YouTube channel, you're going to find that there is a download. It's an extra special download, and you're going to love it. So hit that subscribe button and download your freebie. Okay, so QR code is staying up, and the link is going to disappear. What are we talking about today? We are talking about the three intense emotions you'll see more this holiday season. So I don't even know where to start. So much has been happening. So much has been happening in the world and here. And it's really kind of interesting because we've not seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. My mother, who is 90 years old, has never seen anything like this in her lifetime. And she's lived through some things. She has. She has lived through some things. When you're 90, you've lived through some things. And she's saying, "What's going on? What's wrong with what is wrong with everybody?" So this is just a different season that we are in right now. And it's really, ooh, I just moved my screen over to a different screen. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, got it. We're living in a very different era that's, I don't even know how to describe it. But because we're going into the holiday season, it's going to be very intense. It just is, because we have people who are losing their jobs, their work. We have people, and I'm talking thousands of people. We have people who are not sure if they're going to have work. They don't know if their employer is going to lay them off, terminate them. They're just not sure. There's a lot of uncertainty. On top of that, there's concerns about insurance and the cost of insurance. I have I'm fortunate in that I have an employer sponsored healthcare insurance, and our healthcare for family has jumped tremendously to the point where I'm like, gee, we really have to figure out what we're going to do here. It has jumped. Healthcare costs for people who are on the exchange, known as the Affordable Care Act, their premiums are skyrocketing for some, into the thousands. That's unbelievable. It is totally unbelievable, right? But it's happening. So there's concerns there. On top of it, a staple that helps to address hunger in this country is on hold. And people aren't going to be able to get their SNAP benefits that helps them to pay for food for their family. So, in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, we're going to have lots of people facing food insecurity around the holiday season while our politicians are home. And I'm sure none of them are going to face food insecurity. I'm sure. So, with so much going on, people are approaching the holiday season, and people are having emotions about it. They're having feelings about what's happening in their lives, what's happening in the world, and what they may face this holiday season. It may not be about what toy or what gift their children are going to get this year. It may be about what are they going to eat. It may be about, are they going to lose their home, their housing? It may be about, will they be able to afford to live where they currently live? It may be about, how are they going to find a new job? There's a lot happening, a lot happening. And this goes beyond stress, right? It really does. It goes beyond stress. And that's why I wanted to share 3 of these intense emotions that we're going to be seeing. And as I said before, this is a heavy talk today. It's very heavy for me. So let's get into it, okay? First and foremost, and I'm not saying this is the top one. There's no order to it. It's just the way what came up first in my mind. Angry. We're going to face a number of people who are going to be angry. People are angry right now. They're angry about what they are experiencing. They're angry about what's happening in the world, in this country. They're angry about so many things. And some of that anger is being fueled, and some of the anger is probably not, um, is being fueled on inaccuracies, but a lot of it is being fueled by experiences that people are having directly. When we talk about anger and these emotions, the emotions that I'm going to be sharing with you, when we talk about them, a lot of times people will say when they're angry, I'm just angry or I'm mad. But there are really a couple of tiers when we talk about emotions. We have that um, emotion that we can state, anger, and it's pretty general, right? I'm angry. That's pretty general, but there it's not. It could be because of anything, or it can encompass a lot of different feelings. But there are two additional tiers that are connected to these emotions. Um, I called one a second tier and the other a third tier. And I'm just going to share with you as it relates to anger what these two tiers may contain, okay, the emotions. Because I think it's very important for us if we are experiencing emotions, particularly during this holiday season, or we are um, or we are around people who are experiencing emotions, we should be very specific about what those emotions are so that we can talk about it, so that we can have a better understanding of what is going on inside of us as well as inside of other people. So when we talk about angry or anger, there's a second tier to that. Someone might be angry, but they're feeling frustrated. They're frustrated about things that are happening, things that are going on in their lives. Anger could also be viewed as aggression. People may be aggressive, argumentative, right? That is a form of anger, and it is a more intense form of anger when someone is aggressive. Aggressive behavior and being frustrated are viewed differently. They're viewed differently. I'm frustrated is more a more softer form of anger or a softer delivery, right? Than aggressiveness. Then a person may feel humiliated. Humiliated is a form of anger. If I'm humiliated, humiliation, I should say, is a form of anger. Feeling bitter, experiencing bitterness is a form of anger. Feeling let down is a form of anger. And how do we play anger out sometimes? We play it out by being distant. We separate ourselves from those people or the person who has angered us. So this is like a second tier of anger, how anger is displayed, how anger is experienced, how anger is communicated. When you start drilling it down, you can go even farther, right? Because in the third tier, anger could be experienced as betrayal. One could experience resentment. A person may feel disrespected, which causes them to experience anger. Ridiculed or violated. A person may feel jealous. That's a form of anger. Furious, hostile, annoyed. And what is the behavior that might be associated with it? They may feel numb. There's no feeling. There's no feeling. They suppress whatever they're feeling. They could be withdrawn, meaning they're not talking to anyone, they're not communicating, they're not they're not even being around other people, so they withdraw they withdraw themselves from the milieu. Also, a person may be dismissive. They don't want to hear what you say, they don't want to know what you do, they act like they don't care, they're just dismissive. Again, it's important, I think, for us to look at what it all actually means. To be angry could be so many different things. To experience anger could be so many different things. And it's important, I think, for us to have an understanding of that because we need to be able to communicate what is really what it is, really. Are we just frustrated? Do we feel like we've been let down? Do we feel betrayed? Are we furious or are we just frustrated? Because if we can identify and actually state what it is we are actually feeling, we can get past it without hanging on to the residuals of that emotion. You've heard me say before that once we state exactly how we feel in terms of the emotion, if we state that emotion, the emotion really dissipates and we can move on. It's only when we hold on to that emotion without fully expressing what it is exactly, it's when we hold on to it, that's when it starts to become something else. And it starts as a little ember and then it starts to turn into a flame. So that's why it is important for us to be able to identify the exact emotion that we're feeling, even if we have to drill down from anger. What is it really? Again, do you feel betrayed? Do you feel resentful? Are you feeling jealous? Do you feel as if do you feel bitter? What is it exactly? Another emotion that we're going to be seeing quite a bit is fear. I jumped to sadness, but here, fear. Fear is another emotion. And again, there's two additional tiers to fear. The second tier would be I'm anxious, I feel insecure, I feel rejected, or I feel threatened. Third tier would be I feel helpless, I'm frightened, I'm overwhelmed, I'm worried, I feel inadequate, worthless. I feel as if I'm being excluded. I feel nervous. I feel exposed, right? So, with fear, again, it's important for us to know what it is exactly. What does that fear mean to us? And what does the fear mean to the other person? In a therapeutic setting, when I'm talking to my clients, I help them to drill down. What is it exactly? When they say, I'm afraid. Okay, what is it exactly? Well, I'm afraid of that person. Well, what is it exactly? I keep asking them to know exactly what it is. Is it that you're insecure? You're feeling insecure? Is it that you feel rejected? Is it that you feel inadequate? Is it that you feel worthless? Because once we know that, then we can work through it. We can really begin to look at what is the belief behind that emotion? What are the thoughts that are contributing to that emotion? And because of what's going on right now, there are a lot of people who are afraid. And because they are afraid, they may come across as being angry. But that anger is really being fueled by the emotion of fear. They may feel helpless, that they're not going to be able to feed their family. They may feel inadequate, that although they were the sole provider for their family, they are not that right now. And their family may be suffering because of it. They may feel worthless. They may feel overwhelmed. However, it may come across to other people as being furious, as being disrespectful, as being dismissive, as being aggressive. But when you drill it down, it's not really anger, it's fear. And it's fear based that's even deeper than just fear. Again, it could be the feeling of helplessness, it could be overwhelm, it could be worry. The third emotion that I want to share with you is sadness. The holidays are very hard for people anyway. And I often encounter people who are just sad. They're grieving losses. They are lonely. They feel despair. They feel vulnerable because they're by themselves. They feel depressed. They're hurt. There's so many emotions connected to sadness. I just gave you some of the second tier ones: lonely, vulnerable, despair, depressed, hurt. Tier 3 emotions connected to sadness are feeling abandoned, feeling fragile. Grief would be a tier 3. Powerless, feeling ashamed, feeling empty, disappointed, even embarrassed. Embarrassment is connected to sadness. Why am I going through these 3 particular emotions? Because I believe that we're going to be seeing these emotions a great deal in people and from people during this holiday season. And we want to be, I think, prepared for it, because think about it. If we encounter someone who is angry or appears to be aggressive, oftentimes we give them back what they give to us. Perhaps this is not the time to do that. Perhaps this is a time to really show compassion. Compassion for people who are going through. Compassion doesn't cost us anything. Compassion is really love in action, but it goes beyond that. Compassion is seeing pain, hurt, despair. Compassion is seeing a problem. Compassion is seeing the problem, seeing the pain, seeing the hurt, and having the desire to alleviate that pain, that hurt, that despair. That's a very important component of compassion. It's not just seeing it, it's wanting to take action to alleviate it. Now, while you may not have a job to give someone, while you may not have extra food to give someone, what you can do is express concern. You can speak kindly to the person. You can give suggestions on what they can do. The idea is to try to alleviate the pain. A lot of people are going to be in pain, and we're going to encounter people who are in pain. And it may not come out as, soft. Their communication may not come out as soft, but they are hurting. And we should treat them as such. You may be hurting, and you want to treat yourself as such by showing yourself self compassion. I'm going to talk about compassion and self compassion um, during this, at some point. It may be next week, but definitely at some point during the holidays, because I think this is going to be a very important time for us to be compassionate and express compassion, not only to others, but to ourselves. So, I have just talked about the three intense emotions that you'll see more this holiday season. I talked about anger and gave you several tiers of anger. I talked about fear, and I also talked about sadness. And all of those, I gave you several tiers um, of those because I wanted you to know that there's layers. When we talk about anger, when we talk about sadness, when we talk about fear, there are layers that we experience and that we see in others. I want to ask you once again to subscribe to ML Bailey Consultants on YouTube. I will be uploading guided meditations. I will have lots of other things that I'm going to share with you, and I'm excited about it. And I want you to be excited about it too. This is where we are going to do some real good work together, unlike we can do on Instagram and Facebook. Now, I am still on Instagram and Facebook. That's going to be like the daily drop in, let's chat a little bit. But YouTube is where we're going to drop some knowledge, drop some skills, and help you to develop the same at the same time. Here's the link, and in the corner is the QR code. Just take a shot at that and go to YouTube. Subscribe. Subscribe. Also, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up on it. Just hit the subscribe button and also hit the thumbs up. Alrighty. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. I'm Marcelyn Bailey. As always, take good care.